Hello everybody, Animation Trainer here, and today it's time for another review. Today we are going to review Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Road Trip, also known as Alvin 4. Now before I get started with the review, I got a request from the Dragon Critic to review this film. So if you want to be like him and request a movie, go ahead, just leave it in the comment section. Now, with Alvin and the Chipmunks, let me just give a brief opinion on the first three. Now, I've never was a huge fan, but I will say that the movies are alright. Well, alright. But then as I got older, I kind of grew out of it. I still really do like the original. However, Squeakquel was awful and Shipwrecked was meh. Now with this film, I'm pretty sure it got a pretty bad box office record because, well, Force Awakens, but let me just talk about it in depth for a little. So the story is pretty much about how Alvin, Theodore, and Simon have to go on this big trip to Miami with another boy named Miles, and they have to go and stop Dave from proposing to a girl, so that the Chipmunks and Miles don't become brothers because they don't really get along very well. Now the movie can be pretty predictable. In fact, some of the plot twists you could sort of see in a way, but I will say that but it does actually solve a lot of problems with some of the other films. It's like the reason why I hate Squeakquel and stuff. Like, I hate Squeakquel because of how ridiculously predictable it is. Here, there's just some elements that can be predictable. It's not like extreme predictable. Another thing I thought that they fixed with this movie is the Chipettes. Oh my gosh, I hate the Chipettes. But here, they actually get rid of them for the majority of the film. And I'm actually glad about that. Of course, they do come back towards the end, but at least, we don't get them throughout the entire film. Unlike Shipwrecked and Squeakquel. However, there are still things that actually didn't do as well as some of them, and that's the villain. And there's another character that they actually got rid of, and that's Ian Hawke. I thought he actually did pretty well as a villain. Sure, he's a little goofy, but at least he's not entirely stupid like this guy. I mean, at first, and I'm talking about the guy from this film. At first, he actually looked, even though he is pretty goofy, I thought he was actually pretty intimidating. But then towards the end, I thought, what just happened? I won't spoil anything, but let's just say that towards the end of his appearance, he just becomes pretty bad, and it just turns into a stupid cartoon, a live action cartoon. Alright, and then as for the CG, as for the live action, I will say that they did a good job. Sure, some of the places could have been better filmed at, but still looks really nice. Especially, and they go around the world as well. Yeah. Then another thing with this movie is that actually really does go into the heart of all the characters, for sure. I mean, we get to see the Chipmunks and Miles grow as they're on their adventure, and we get to see them grow with Dave as well. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really nice. Oh yeah, and there's one more thing I want to point out. There are a couple of musical numbers which I can't really say much. Well, of course I could talk about them, but I just mean like I wouldn't consider it a musical because the songs aren't original. There's like one original song, I believe, which is towards the very end, which is a song for Dave. But let's just say the songs aren't very good. In fact, they're good at first, but then later on they just get pretty annoying. Like they put Uptown Funk in it. They put and I forgot the rest of the songs. I just remember Uptown Funk because that was the song I kept getting annoyed at, and they kept being all like, "If you don't believe me, just watch." Yeah. And the song, and the end song. Yeah. But overall, I give Road Trip a 7 out of 10. It's nothing special at all, but it's still okay for a movie. I mean, it's still good. In fact, I like it way more than Twinkle and Shipwrecked. It's not as good as the original, though. It's good, but it's just the musical numbers and the predictability in the story just removes it from being anything special. Now, if you want to go get the Blu-ray version, I suggest only get it if you give a 7, 8, or 9 to the first 3. Otherwise, you could just rent this film, or just wait for it to come on FX. The only people who should not watch it at all is if you actually hate the first 3. Alright. But if you at least like the original, I say you can check it out. Alright. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye. And also, I put a hint in the description for the next random review. So, check that out. Alright. See you later.